What's up, what's up, what's up? Just 350 JP at the house. Okay, so I was thinking about this exposition I went to during the past, what was it? During the past summer, I guess it was last year, because this is New Year. And they were talking about how they are giving these, I guess, these tablets, iPads, or whatever, different tablets they're giving to children in Thailand. I guess, I don't know about all the kids or the ones in certain areas, whatever. And then they're supposed to be teaching them from those. And I think that's a good idea we can do in our neighborhoods. The other day I read that they're, I think by the year 2013 or something like that, which is this year, that blacks in America will spend about $1.1 trillion, and that money is not going to the neighborhood, or if it is going to the neighborhood, it's not going to the neighborhood in such a way where it could triple and double it every year. So, one thing that's causing a lot of problems that I notice is that a lot of kids are not going to school because it's boring and maybe they're not learning anything. So this is a great opportunity for some of you people, black men, black women out there who wants to change this. Okay, getting back to the iPads or the tablets, whatever they're using in Thailand and Africa and different places like that, because now they're teaching a lot of English in a lot of these countries, especially where they're speaking French and stuff, right? So they, for whatever reason, but of course we know it's monetary advantages and stuff like that. And I think that's a good idea that we should do the same thing. Buy these tablets, these pads, and have our children sit in front of these and do some studying. Because, like I said, when you study and as you start to learn and understand more things, your mind starts to become active. If you get bored, just go jogging or move around or do some jumping jacks for about 5 to 10 minutes, and it will reactivate your mind and give you more brain activities, which I've read in this book called Brain Rules or something like that. But you can just look it up. There's a lot of research on that has been done, or has been done. Anyway, that's a good idea. Now, how we're going to do this, well, how you can do it anyway, since I'm over here and I can't do it, but is to get a lot of the retired teachers and a lot of people who have BA and bachelor's degrees and things like that to talk about or make videos about the subjects that they learn and that they know, and have the kids watch those. Now you can do it live, or you can do, and of course you want to do it recorded and things like that. Now it's a good way to make money also, because you can get the government or your government and the state and things to provide these iPads and a lot of these supplies, because it should be, on the long run, it should be a lot cheaper than sending these kids to school and providing their lunch and transportation and things like that. Now, of course, this might be a way to, how can I say that? You might think it might cut people's jobs, but actually it can create more jobs, because there are kids who are going to school, and whether they're learning it, I'm not sure. The ones who apply themselves are and will learn. Those who are in trouble or having problems can just learn at home, can learn on the road. And I think we need to build some type of sense of studying and what it means to study, and how you should feel when you study, and when you get tired, what do you do? And then another thing too, hints, study hints. I was at Antelope Valley College a few years ago, in about 1990s, and I ran across this one black woman who was a teacher. And we were talking, I guess, I don't know what we were talking about. I didn't know she was a teacher. But anyway, she said, we were talking, I was telling about how I study or something like that. And she really liked it. And her class was about, teaching people how to study better. And she wanted me to come to her class because of the things that I said. Well, I was like, well, why should I waste my money going to a class I already know? Which I should have tried it, anyway, but, I didn't. But there are ways, like I've mentioned, when you're studying history and stuff like that, you know, there's just the vocabulary, and then once you start to understand it, depends on how much you want to understand, how much, it's just remembering what happened, and you can, get the vocabulary, write charts, and, do it with your friends, and when you have time, just listen to it over and over. Eventually you'll remember it, because it can't be that difficult. But the whole thing, though, is a lot of people do talk about certain people, I guess their favorite people, whatever, But another thing we need to understand is that is something that we can do. And like people saying, well, we're going to get the money from, but we have a lot of money, that you spend, that you waste. I've cut back on a lot of my spending, and you'd be surprised how much money you save by just doing things properly and stuff like that. But anyway, getting back to the past, you can do that now. I was suggesting that people in the neighborhoods would get together with the kids, and talk to their parents and start teaching them. Like I said, you can get these retired teachers, and it's a good way to get you back active also in the educational life. And this time you do it properly and do it the correct way, because they're actually a lot of the older teachers, especially their 50s, 60s, and 40s and stuff like that, they taught very well, and they taught with a lot of compassion, and they were real. I don't know about the teachers nowadays, but I guess because a lot of things that's going on is kind of dangerous now. But it's really not that difficult, and if you can get these iPads, you can really, or these tablets, whatever you want to use, you can really, really, really break it down in such a way where, there's this video I made, and it shows kids how to, okay, let me show you. Okay, so my son, he's going to school, and I didn't teach him the way I taught my two children in America. So now he's having problems with math, and then I teach him, and he'll forget, or he act like he forgets. So I just said forget it. So one day he got these division problems and stuff to do, and I just told him, he said he forgot what to do. And when they say that, the first impulse is to slap him upside the head. But I said I can't keep slapping him like that, and doing that. Or I shouldn't do it, I should say. And sometimes I just get so angry, and then I said, you know what, if you want to play games, fine. So what I did was I told him, hey, take this, like, so let's say 255 divided by 35, and I said just subtract 35 until you can't do it anymore. But those problems, it was divided evenly, so he would do it and that's okay. Now count how many times you subtracted the 35. And so he did that, and then I said, okay, now you gotta make sure it's correct, so you gotta multiply the answer by the 35, whatever that was, and you gotta get the 200, whatever it was, whatever I said anyway. And he did it, and at first he was kind of angry, and I said, well, you gotta do it, just do it, I don't want to do it, and I don't like this, and it's too hard. And I'm like, well, why is it too hard? He said, because I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm like, well, just do it. Just try it. So, sometimes I'll just sit there and I'll do it with them. And when you're doing it with them and they start understanding, they want to push you out the way and they want to do it because it starts to become interesting, because something that they didn't know, they start to comprehend. So, and then he would get angry and stuff, and would, time, consume you because of the anger. And then it makes you just want to slap him inside the back of the head, and I'm like, I can't do that. So I'm like, okay, listen, why are you angry? And it's almost like talking to an adult. Why are you angry? Because I don't know. I don't want to do this. Why don't you want to do it? Because I don't understand. So what does being angry and you not understanding what you have to do have in common? What's the relationship? I don't get it. And he's like, oh, well, there is no relationship. I said, well, then why are you upset? Because, and then he said, oh, I don't know. I'm like, well, we spent 15 minutes talking about, you know, of course I made the story short. We spent 15 minutes talking about why you're angry, but you don't really know. And the reason you know is because you don't understand. But I'm trying to explain it to you. You don't want to explain. You don't want to listen to me because you probably rather do something else. But you're wasting time. And I said this 15 minutes, 20 minutes that we spent, you know, talking about your anger, which you really are not angry about anything. You just, you know, like I said, those trigger words. You know, you think of this word. I don't want to do it. Oh no, math is hard. And then, you know, you got this action, you got the word math is hard, it creates this emotion and it creates this action that you saw other kids doing or other people doing when they don't understand something, you know, and they just act, instead of just sitting down and learning it. And then I said, look at all this time. I said, in 15, 20 minutes we spent doing this, you could have been almost done, or at least got some progress. So he's like, all right, so he did it. And the next day, I went to his, because he goes to this babysitting place, because me and the wife works and stuff. So he went there, and I told him to do the work, and of course he didn't do it. So then I was like, okay, fine. So, well, I know he wasn't going to do it, so I kind of went over there, and because I worked in the same place for an hour, because I teach English to the kindergarten kids. And I opened the door, and I said, hey, what you doing? He like, talking to my friends. I'm like, no, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You need to do your homework. Well, I don't want to do it. I said, well, just do it, you know. I said, you're the tallest one in the class, and you're the dumbest one in the class, and that is not a good combination, you know. And everyone started laughing. The teacher did, too. He kind of got angry. But he laughed, too, though. But he was a little angry to kind of laugh, because it makes sense. It doesn't make any sense for the tallest, biggest, strongest person in the room to be the less intelligent, the most unintelligent, or less intelligent, had less wisdom. The biggest person had the most. As far as I'm concerned, everyone's supposed to have that knowledge. And if you're big, you're supposed to have the power and the knowledge, and no one shouldn't be able to. Well, you guys see that? No one shouldn't be able to overpower you or anything like that. So, ooh, wow. Okay, I guess I understood that. Okay, so he did it, and I got home and I asked him, and he said he did everything. But it was interesting because the day before that, when he was doing the homework, he kept doing it, and he started, oh, now I understand. And I was like, what do you understand? Because what I did was I made him, he had like 20 problems, so I made him do the subtraction, which of course that's all it is anyway, right? So I made him subtract every word, the number until he got it, but he did it on a separate sheet of paper. And then he said, oh, okay, now I understand what this is all about. Because when the teacher teach, they don't really show them what they're really doing, because all the division is just it's just subtracting the same number, you know, from a larger number, you know, and that's it. So, or, you know, dividing it up in certain what is it called? Just anyway, setting it up in some type of units and stuff like that. I mean, I'm trying to make these videos short. They're coming out real long. But anyway, you know, dividing them up in the same specified units and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, okay, now I understand. You know, and it was really interesting. But he got home the next day, and I said, did you do it? All the problem? I mean, not the next day, but that night. When I got home that night, and I asked him, did you do the work? And he said, yes. And I said, how was it? He said, it was easy. I said, do you understand that? He said, yeah. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, because I got a few seconds, is that's the way we really need to teach. And a lot of kids really just don't have those access to a lot of that stuff because of the things that they're going to. So you guys might want to think about doing that, you know, talking to, because there's a lot of money in the neighborhoods, a lot of people got money, and just talk to them, you know, because if a lot of people don't support us, you can stop supporting them, you know, you really can. And yeah, that's it. But, you know, they should know that, hey, that it's all business, and, you know, they should get rewarded or, you know, get something. make business investments and do this stuff right, And that's about it. Anyway,